guys, this is Fayte Cheat The Game coming back at you. Today I'm taking a look at Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. I did mention this in my last vid that I had this upcoming and everything, and I did have a couple of you write privately saying that you were really having some trouble finding a couple of values on here, and I'll show you what they were talking about. If we go over here to the Mirian table, which is kind of like the money, I guess, but you can purchase upgrades to your weapons, and when you get all those unlocked, then you can have these really extreme abilities here. One is the Storm of Urfael, the other one is Flame of Askar, and the other is Shadow of Akarn. And what a lot of you were having trouble with was finding how to keep that infinite or have infinite usage of it. Because when you're looking for the bar, you weren't able to find it. You looked on float, you couldn't find it. You looked in 4-byte, you couldn't find it. You even went to all, you still couldn't find it. This is one of those really elusive values. And I got to tell you, it took me about a day and a half until I figured out exactly how it was working, and that's what I had to do. I had to really study the game mechanics on how it's working, and it can be several different ways. That's why I tell you that you really have to understand how the game is operating, what's going on, what makes the game run. And I try to reiterate this. I got this program up here. If you see, I'm gonna get a close-up of it. It's called RPG Maker VX Ace. Now, I know basically you can make your own little RPG games, and now this is old style RPG and everything, but it really gives you a sense of how a game runs and operates. Like, you can program your hero, he's got to collect 5 rubies, 5 dragon rubies or something like that. The door's locked and he's got to place each one on a pedestal, and that door will not unlock until that is done. Well, once all those are completed, you set a flag on that, or a switch it's called in this, because this uses rubies. They go by what they call switches, but they're flags, same thing. And that flag or switch is not going to turn on until that criteria is met. All of those have to be in the pedestal. And that's controlled by what's called variables. It's keeping up. A certain number has to be reached before it turns the flag on. Well, those same flags can also control other things. If you're not able to find an internal code for, like, maybe a bar or something of that nature, try looking for flag values. Now, flag values are a lot different than bar values or numeric values that count up and down. When you're, like, time, it's either decreasing or increasing. Health, stamina, all that stuff is increasing and decreasing. It's going up, cycling between a set of numbers, but it's hitting every number in between there as well. It's going up or down. Flags are totally different, and they're also called switches, whichever term you prefer. They're like a light switch. You got on and off. That's it. They're cycling between 2 numbers. Sometimes they may have a number in between, kind of like a neutral, but very rarely. Usually it's on and off. That's what a flag is. You turn a flag on, you turn a flag off. And they can control just about anything. They control the flow of the game. When certain criteria are met, a flag turns on. Okay, now you can go into this area. Now it's no longer locked out to you. That's controlled by a flag. Well, sometimes when you can't find that internal code, sometimes a flag is controlling that. When that bar is completely filled, just like putting the rubies into the pedestals, when that bar is completely filled, boom, the flag cuts on. You're able to use that number 2 key to activate it. After the bar is completed, that flag's turned off again. And that's exactly what is happening here. So, after many, many tries and many words of cursing, I finally found what was going on. So what we're going to do, and also I'm going to show you a little trick, especially when it's called relative flags, and that's what these are. They're pretty much together, and these are relative flags. That means that they are related to each other in a certain way. That means their addresses will be sort of close to each other. Now, I didn't find the Storm of Urfael because basically it's the same thing as have infinite executions, and I already found infinite executions, so ain't no sense in having that when I've already got infinite executions anyway. So, but I did find these two, and you'll see when we do find the addresses for those flags that activate these two, that they are relative flags. They are very close in the same address, and I can show you how to find them both together. Alright, so let's get started. But this is just another technique to try when other things are failing for you. When you're not able to find a value that's counting up or down. Hang on, I hadn't even got this thing attached to the game yet, and they're already wanting me to play. So you got to really look for these numbers, and basically you're looking for on and off, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second here. Let me turn these back off. Alright. See, you got instant kill. I can just use it over and over and over again. This is a great game. I just love this game. I can't hardly put it down. Alright. So here we go. Let me set these back because they'll just stay on if I leave them that way. So I'm going to turn that back off. And I'm going to turn this back off with a 0. And we're going to pretend like we haven't even found those yet. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and just delete those. I'll cut those out. I'm just going to paste them to a different cheat engine. Just like so. There we go. That way I ain't really lost them. And we're just going to go find those like we don't have a clue what they are yet. And I'm going to start with this right here. And you see when I mash 2, it does not activate. So I have to kill monsters and whatever to fill the bar up. So what I want to do, I know the flag is turned off right now, and I'm searching for a flag value. So basically, if we don't know something, it took me a while to find that it was a byte, just a regular byte. You just got to keep trying different things. Eventually you will find it. But I went for unknown initial value because I don't know what the on and off values are. It doesn't always have to be 0 for off. Sometimes it could be a high. As you saw, the other was 128 for off. So you always want to start searching for flags always with unknown value. So we're going to go unknown value, and I know the value type's already a byte because I did this with all originally, and that's what you want to start with, is all. And it's going to take you a while. These things are not easy to find. These are probably the hardest values to find, is flag values, because you got to keep turning them on, then turning them back off, and then do another scan, then unchanged. It's just, and it's going to take you a while. It just depends on if you want that cheat or not. So, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and turn the flag on, and as you see, this is all I'm doing, because I'm going to cut it while I do this. All I'm doing is just killing things so it fills my bar up. See that? And then it gives me, it starts filling my bar up. Just like so. And that flag is monitoring that display code. When that display code is completely full, it will turn the flag on. And the reason that I just don't find the display code and use it and say, well, why can't you just use the display code and put it at whatever fills it all the way up? Because the flag don't read it that way. Something else is triggering it, and I just have not been able to find it via the display code. I cannot find an internal code at all. I have tried. Up, down, unknown. It's not there. But I said, screw it. I'm just going to find the flag. When it's on, turn it on. And that's the best route to go. If something's eluding you that much, go for the flag. Flags control everything. Everything in this game is controlled by a flag. Okay? And that's what we're doing. So I'm going to cut this. I'm going to fill the bar up. Then I'm going to turn it right back on. Alrighty. So you can see it's about to be turned on. So I flipped it back on right quick. And it just turned on. It just now turned on. Do you see it? So what we need to do is we go back to Cheat Engine and get this out of my way. Make sure we cycle in between the game and Cheat Engine. There we go. And let's pretend we don't have a clue what we're looking for. So all we can do, we don't know if it's going up or we don't know if it's going down. So all we can really do is go changed. A changed value just occurred. Okay. So we change the value by going to changed value and then click next. Then let it cycle down. Now what you want to do after it's finished with that, go back to the game and then make sure that you got hotkeys set for these things. And I still have people asking me how to do this. So go to edit settings and then you can, here's the settings table. Here are the hotkeys, and here is every single thing you can do, all your values and all the different, I don't know what you call them, you know what I mean, scan types and stuff. You can set those to a different hotkeys. But you can do changed and unchanged, which is right here, changed, next scan changed, next scan unchanged, and I set those to plus and minus. And that comes in really handy, especially for flags. So we're just going to, excuse me, we know we have not used it yet, so we're going to go ahead and click unchanged value, weed some of these down. And you want to weed down as much as possible. Do different things. That way you're just weeding out nonchalant stuff. There we go. Kind of running around a bit. You see how you can just weed a lot of them out that way? Alright, so let's go ahead and turn the flag on, or excuse me, turn it back off again by activating that particular thing. And we're just going to let it run all the way down. Just let it run all the way down till we know, alright, now the flag is completely turned off. We know it's turned off. So we go back to Cheat Engine and we're going to do changed again. And we're just going to hit unchanged a few times. Go back in the game and hit unchanged a few times. And just like that. There we go. And guess what? We got to do it all over again. Got to raise that bar up by killing things. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it while I'm doing that, and I'll be right back right when we're about to turn the flag back on, alright? Okay, I started it back just when I'm about to get that flag turned back on again. And as you can see over here, there's still some stuff changing, so let's go ahead and hit unchanged value some more, just to weed those down. And let's turn that flag on. If we can find something to shoot. I pretty much shot everything here, so I need them to respawn. They're back over here. There's some more. And the flag's turned on. You see that? And we have not activated it yet. We go back to Cheat Engine. We go to changed value again. Changed and unchanged. That's the loosest, just about the loosest kind of search you can do is changed and unchanged. When all else fails, just go changed and unchanged and find these values. Alright, click it. Let's hit unchanged a few times. And we're getting a lot closer. We're down to about 9,273. So let's activate that particular flag by hitting the 2 key. And let it run all the way down. Let that bar go all the way down to completely turn that flag back off again. because we don't know if it's hanging on the on button until it turns off or not. We don't know if it turned off right when we hit the button, so wait till it's completely done. Alright, it's completely done, so we're going to hit changed again. And we're down to 6,000, so we are getting closer. And we got to keep doing this over and over again until we get a few we can try. Okay, so let me, I'm going to fill the bar back up again. And it's just over and over and over again. And what I'm going to do is everything you just saw me do. I'm not doing anything different. As soon as I'm about to do something different, that's when I'll cut the recorder back on. But I'm just not going to sit here and waste your time with me weeding it down to just a couple. Alright, so I'm going to pause it and I'll be back. Okay, I'm getting close to getting the flag again, and as you can see, I've weeded it down about 471, and all I kept doing is just mashing unchanged while I'm building the bar back up. And I'm just building the bar back up from that previous time that I just cut the video, so I hadn't even turned the flag on yet since then. So, and that's how much I was able to weed it down to, just doing unchanged, because I know the flag ain't on yet. So hopefully we can kind of experiment from there. I'm going to hit unchanged value while like this, and it's going down even more, see? Let's shoot. And that bar's about to turn that flag on. And there it went. The flag has been turned on. And so we're going to go change value. And that should really weed a lot of them out. Down to 110. Which ain't too bad. Basically what I like looking for is zeros and numbers that stay relatively close together, like 10 and 12 or whatever, you know what I mean. But just keep watching. We're going to turn this on, and you see we haven't even activated it yet, and we got some numbers changing, so we can weed those out now. Now we're down to 88. Now let's turn it on. Hang on. Let's try it again. Now it's turned on, and it has changed. Well, we don't know that yet. Let it cycle all the way down first. Then we'll know. But as you can see, some things went to 0, and I think I found it actually. So now we know it's changed. And I'm going to hit my hotkey changed. We're down to 75. First things I always like to try, even though that sometimes it's just not going to be 0, but I try to hit my zeros first. I always try to hit my zeros. When I know it's off, I try to put all the zeros I can find in here. Because about 60% of the time you're going to have a 0 type flag in there. So I like trying those first, but as you see, it's not always the case. It can be any range of numbers. That's the on and off. But we don't know what turns these zeros on. We don't know what number to set these to. So guess what we got to do again? You guessed it. We got to fill the button. That's how hard it is to find these things. That's how much work you got to put into it. But it is worth it if you stick with it. Okay? So let me cut it. I'm going to fill that bar back up. I'll be right back. Okay. The bar is about to be filled up again. And as you can see, the flags are still off. And we're just taking a look as we do this just to see what numbers populate on here, and then we just got to process of elimination to see if any of those are actually controlling that. So let's fill that bar completely up. And it just turned on, and you see we have numbers populating. Now this one reverted back to 0, so we know that one ain't it. And what I normally do is I recommend just doing it this way. Is just try one at a time. You can get a notepad, write down these numbers so you know what to put them to. 144, 67, and I'm just going down the row here. 8 and 64, just like that. And we're just going to use the process of elimination till we get to the one that maybe works or doesn't work. And if none of them work, then we got to do it with other numbers. And sometimes you need to save your work and come back to it later. This could take you time, especially when you don't know what you're looking for. Fortunately, to save us time, I know what I'm looking for, and we're just going to cut to the chase. So I'm going to turn this on. Let it go all the way back to the 0, which turns off the flag. Or we're guessing that it turns off the flag. Okay, we know the flag is completely off, and you see 2 of these numbers did not revert back to 0, so those 2 could not be it. You see what I mean by the process of elimination? This is going to happen. So now we have 4 we can try. Okay? So we know that these 2 are not it. They didn't revert back to 0. So now we just have 1, 1, 8, 64. Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, we can try these. This one here, this one right here, that controls a display. This is like a watcher, and that'll set to 1. When that bar's full, this will set to 1. When that reaches 1, it turns this flag on. Okay? It's like a watcher. It's monitoring this display bar right down here. And when that reaches 1, and I'll show you. Look. Let me set this to 1. Just like this. Now when I go back to it, you see the bar fill all the way up. But look, when I mash the 2, it does not activate. It does not activate. You know why? Because it didn't turn the flag on. That's not the correct value we need. That's just like a watcher. It still recognizes it as being off. The flag needs to be turned on for it to function. Now we set it to 8. Now we can activate the code. See? Just like so. Okay, so we know all we need is this right here to remain at 8. And all we have to do now is go back, hit the 2, and watch. Boom. Just like so. You see that? However, you can't do it again until it runs all the way down. That's just the way flags operate. It has to cycle through, because there's a lot more going on in the actual scripting of it than just turning the flag on and off. But once it's completely off again, we can hit it again. Look at that. See? And we're good to go. And it's going to continue to run down. There it is. Now, so we know we found it. We just trial and error till we get to what we need. And it was that one right there. So let's delete that record. I hope nothing's confusing you. Just don't pay attention to the rest of these up here. Just pay attention to this right here. Now we're going to look for what we call relative flag. We're going to see if maybe the other one that we want to get, which is stealth, that one right there, we want to see if it may be related to this one. And what I mean by relation, that it's near that address. Roughly, most of the numbers will be the same. Okay? And I say always look for that relative address first. And if you find one that looks like it could be a relative address, that more than likely may be it, and it'll save you a whole bunch of time. But a lot of times that won't happen, so, you know, you'll just have to do it the hard way. What I need to do is go ahead and start a new scan. I'm going to do it on byte and an unknown initial value, just like before. And we do the same way. So let me fill that bar up and go kill some of these things in stealth mode, so it'll fill up my stealth bar, and I'll be back once that's done. Okay, getting real close to turning the stealth flag on now. We're going to go ahead and do that right quick. And then we're going to do a search, and then I'm going to show you something. Okay, stealth flag just turned on, so we want to go ahead and click. What we want to do, being a relative flag, we don't know what number it's going to be, so we still want to hit changed value. But really, this time, we're not looking for a value. We're looking for an address. Okay? That's the difference. And it's a lot to weed through here. As you can see, 58 million. So we're going to have to get back in here and click unchanged a few times. See if we can whittle that down as much as possible. Just so we ain't searching all day, but... Alright, let's go ahead and activate the flag and turn it back off. So, we activate the stealth flag. Let it count all the way down. Now, so maybe we'll get there pretty quick. Hang on. Yeah, it's going to be next to impossible to find if it don't weed any better than that. I think we just passed it. There we go. 093E. And now we want to kind of look for 1-3, something like that, in that range. If there's like a 1-3, look at this. You want to, if there's an address that's very, very close to it, sometimes that won't happen, but a lot of times it will. That's what's it's just a quicker way to search for another particular flag. And just to save time, what we do is we go fill the bar up again and see what that changed to and just try it out. We can see that that is very similar to this flag. It's 99 away in hex. And you can see how close they are. 093E13, 093E13. And when you fill the bar back up again, you'll see this go up to 129, like that. We click it on. And when I go in stealth mode, it's completely off, but if I mash the 2 key, boom, look at that. We got infinite usage of that without having to refill it. We just let it go down a little bit. And when I want to use it again, just go in stealth mode and click it again. See? We've manipulated that flag to always be on, and it stays on whenever we want it to use it. And then what you do from there is you just go find you some pointers. Flags are very hard to write scripts for. We may get into that another time, but even today I use pointers for flags because they are the hardest thing to control. It's best just to use a pointer path, and I'll show you how to make how to find pointers in a couple of vids that I will post up here for you. Feel free to take a look at them, and once you weed those down to have some pointers, then you'll get these right here, and you just save those to your table, and they will work in a trainer once you set hotkeys to them, and you're good to go. But that's basically it. I hope this helps you out, but like I say, when all else fails, try to find a flag value. There's always a way to find these things. You'll always find them, if you don't mind putting the work in for it. Well, that's all there is to it. Please join me and my friends over at guidedhacking.com. That's guidedhacking.com. I'll put the link down there in the descriptions. You'll find a bunch of tutorials. They go well beyond Cheat Engine into C++, C#, IDA Pro, and all the way from beginner to advanced. You'll really learn a lot there, so make sure that you go there. If this helps you out, please give a like on it. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I got some more content coming your way in the future, and we're going to learn a lot more. We're going to get more advanced in this, so just stick with me. We're going to have some fun. You guys take care. Keep on hacking. Most importantly, please enjoy yourself. That's really what it's all about. You cheat the game, fellas, because believe me, it doesn't mind cheating you. Take care now.